Hello and welcome to the final day of the Getting Your House in Order Challenge. We did it, ladies. We made it to the end of the month. And if you're catching this later, later in the day, later this weekend, or later in the future, then all of this stuff is going to be saved in the guides. Whether you were participating with this now or later, you can just join back in. You can go over this stuff if you had to pause. This is the final day, the final installment, the final video. And today we're going to celebrate our success, even if you're not all the way done. And you might think, I don't deserve this. We're going to talk about it, right? We're going to talk about it because that's what I do. I have a heart to help other moms embrace the blessing of children with joy and confidence. And in case we haven't met yet, I'm Tara, Christian wife, homeschool mom of 10 kids with one more on the way at the time of this recording. And that's my heart, because I did not start out super ultra confident and all super mega organized and able to manage life with 303 or 505 or 707. I didn't not have a blueprint. I didn't even have really a mom that I knew that had a bunch of, I sure as sugar did not grow up in a Christian household. Just the truth. I learned a lot of things kind of the long, hard way. And one of the things that I've learned is how to get my house more organized for my own safety, for my own sanity, because once you start to pack in a bunch of kids, define a bunch, right? Honestly, even having 2 kids can feel like a bunch at times. You start to feel it if your house is getting cluttered, getting disorganized, and it doesn't take long with little kids. Honestly, it can be like 5 minutes sometimes. So I'm so proud of all you ladies who have chosen to participate in this, especially the live challenge this July, to be able to do one portion of your house and just get her done, right? And we've had ladies who've done decluttering projects. There was some sort of administration paperwork projects. There's photo projects. What else we had? Yeah, just thinning down the kids' clothes because there was just too much clothes. There's been a whole variety of different home organization projects. And like I said, this entire challenge will be saved. It's free. When you're part of the Joyful Confident Moms group, you can access it anytime and go through it again and again. We did it over a month, but we kind of did it 3 times a week. So we could just check in 3 times a week. But you could do it in 2 weeks, right? Because there's only 12 modules. Whatever, you could do it in a day, depending on the size of your project and your motivation. So today we're going to celebrate how far we've come. And you may not have finished your project, because even though we started out with a good start, we went through how to triage, how to identify your project, how to break it down into smaller steps, how to work through some of the obstacles that come up inside of ourselves or even outside circumstantially. The reality is we don't always hit our goal right on D-Day. If you have, great. That's something to celebrate. Absolutely. Let's, that's something to really, I think, be proud of, and to use that as a catalyst for motivation in the future to say hey, I can do it. At the same time, if you didn't quite get there, let's say maybe you're yeah, I'm 2 entire weeks behind on this or something, whatever the number is. I'm not really here to judge how you did this. I want to encourage you to still celebrate where you're at right now. And for some people, they're yeah, that's super motivating, right? Maybe your personality, you're a more of a bubbly, extroverted kind of person. You'll celebrate at the drop of a hat. For other people, maybe who are a bit more reflective, like myself, if we haven't finished it, we can be little perfectionists, little nerds, and we're no, I don't get my A grade. I don't get my gold sticker. I haven't earned it yet. At the same time, the challenge is over. There's not as much motivation to keep going, right? Internally or externally. It can kind of be a setup for some, what I call self-sabotage. You've heard me say it once and I'll say it before. So I would recommend, if you're not done and you think you don't deserve any kind of cake to celebrate, to go ahead and do it anyway, knowing that you're going to keep going. I would recommend actually setting a goal. Even if it's got to be a bit of a sliding goal, just keep moving forward is the point. And kind of punishing yourself for not hitting the first possible target, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not a good practice. It sort of sucks the motivation out of you. And on some level, you're just making it hurt. So I would recommend choose something to celebrate your success wherever you're at in this. And if you want to have a big reward at the end, and I'll get into what those could be, what works for you, great. Similar kind of to weight loss. So anyone who's been on that journey, then it's highly recommended to celebrate the milestones, right? Rather than waiting for the big number, the big final goal weight, the end of the project, so to speak. and giving yourself a real pat on the back, some kind of reward that means something to you, it's really powerful to give yourself, little boosts and rewards along the way. So what might some of those things look like? And I would recommend, stay within obviously your budget and what works for you, right? Because a reward for one person is not necessarily a reward for the other person. Some people like to go for, I don't know, a long walk. Well, I go for walks all the time, so it's not really a reward. It's actually just part of my health regime. So I wouldn't really consider that a reward when it's like normal. It's like drinking a glass of water. Well, I do that all the time. So I'm thinking it doesn't have to be something that genuinely even costs money. So some ideas I've got written down here are honestly, you could paint your toenails. Or if you're blessed like me, have a 16-year-old, get her to paint your toenails because she loves painting toenails. We only have 3 girls and 7 boys in the family, so painting toenails is really super fun. And I've got my red glittery summer coat on right now. And yeah, you could paint your toenails. I mean, if it's in your budget, you could pay for someone else to do it and go get a little mani-pedi if you want. Ooh, that's fun. You could have a snuggle. Nice heart-to-heart talk. That's so good. A little treat that you enjoy if you want to splurge on a little treat in your house, a little home decor item. Like to have some sugary treat, you want to go get some, or sugar if that's your thing, whatever. The point is celebrate and to give yourself a positive reinforcement with a child, right? You're going to encourage them on the learn how to walk to then, okay, finally now you earned my approval, right? All along you're doing great, good job, right? Look at how far you've come. Again, if you hit target goal, how would you talk to your best friend if they were telling you oh, I didn't quite do it and I feel bad and now the challenge is over and I just feel like a loser and I failed again? How would you speak to them, right? We've talked about this before. I will talk about this again, is to be your own best friend with that inner self-talk. And we're commanded as Christians to love God and love our neighbors as we love ourselves. So it assumes we already know how to love ourselves. Maybe we don't always really know how to love ourselves very well. I think we're probably better naturally at beating ourselves up and being pretty kind of our own worst critics. But we can flip the script and also be our own best friends without lying, without being in denial. We can also be our own best friends. And I'm a big advocate of that. It's been a major game changer in my own life because it's only too easy to beat myself up and find every flaw in everything I am and do. But really, where does that get me? It certainly doesn't get, bring more joy to my life. It doesn't motivate me to get, quite frankly, anything done. Quite the opposite. So we wrap up this July challenge. These are my pearls of wisdom that I'm passing on to your live or in the future. I just want to encourage you to celebrate how far you have come. And finish the whole thing. Hey, maybe double treat, right? It's all right, because we were never in competition against each other. There's no grade or report card coming from me on home management projects. This was for you to equip you with skills, with mindset, and with something you can come back to in the future, because this will be saved in the guide section. So that's all I've got for the challenge. Thank you again for sharing this with me. It's super helped me finish the project, which I had little to no emotion to actually finish. So this was a grit of my teeth project. It was a photo project for me that I completely enjoy being done, but not actually doing it. I don't even know what that is, but there it is. So this was super helpful to me. And I really didn't know for you, and I was it ended up also being for me. So thank you for sharing this with me. Heads up, we have been talking about all month for those that participated in the live challenge. For those of you who are commenting live, whatever. And then I also all up with a nice little bow. So make sure you're in the running for the grand giveaway. I'll be announcing the winner tomorrow on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to that. Also, next week, I'll be going into the new month of August with 3 lives a week, same place, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm so excited because I have this whole new lineup topics. It's kind of going to be a little bit all over the place. I was 12, 15. What's family moms groups, and I'm so excited to share with you some of what's on my heart, some of what's helped me as a younger mom, especially as my family began to grow and I started to hit a lot of my own inner stuff and outer stuff that was making it harder instead of easier. So that's what I'll be sharing in the month of August. I'm so looking forward to sharing that and connecting with you in that way and blessing you, helping you embrace the blessing of more joy and more confidence. And last but not least, next week, I'm kicking off a huge launch that I'm so excited about. I'm launching my website. Stuff. It's got a blog. It's got all kinds of goodies in it. I've got a course you want to check out. It'd be a great hub to like just add on to the heart of what I want to do, and encouraging other moms like yourself, embracing that blessing of children with joy and confidence. So I'll have links, of course. So if you want to check it out and just ooh and ah and say, then that would mean so much to me. And I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you because it's been a labor of love, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds with you. That's it. It's been a joy and a pleasure on Monday. Until then, God bless you. Take care. Have a great weekend.